Hello, folks. I hope you're all well. As usual, I'll read to you the last 7 daily inspirational titles, and you guys can choose one, and we can go from there. Here they go. Okay, these are the 7 titles. The Ego's Judgments, or the Peace of God. Aligning with the Truth Within. Achieving the state of peace by seeing the face of divinity on all. The essence of the present moment is peace. Allowing the present moment to become your workshop. The ego and the illusion of separation. And why do we keep repeating patterns?
Ooh, why do we keep repeating patterns? I don't know what anybody else wants.
All right, let's play with that. This is going to be, if you want to follow on the website, this is going to be the July 20th daily inspirational message, the condensed version. It's 2 paragraphs long. So I'll go ahead and read them, then make some comments, and then we can start. All right. Why do we keep repeating past patterns? Paragraph 1. We keep repeating past patterns because they still have something to teach us. Learn what it is that keeps you chained to your past, then free yourself from it through the act of forgiveness. When the ego demands judgment, instead forgive. And by doing so, no longer drag the past into the now. Forgive the past and all those who were a part of it, including yourself. You can do so with the knowledge that God, being love and all, will use all your past experiences for good. Let the past go in peace by choosing to bless all that the ego would have you curse. This shift in perception will free you to return back to the present moment, your true home here on earth. When you return to the now, you will see life in alignment with the mind of God. Now, through love's lens, you can see and experience the present, free from the past, as it is truly meant for you to be experienced, enjoyed, and shared. Paragraph 2. Today, let us note that being judgmental, anxious, angry, resentful, jealous, and hateful are all signal to us that we're stuck repeating past patterns. In these instances, we are extending the past into the present and thus creating a future like our past. This way, the present and the future just become repetitions of the past. When we're thinking in alignment with the ego's mindset, we do not get to see, experience, or understand what is really going on. This is because the ego, through its past programs, is in control of your mind. If it is in control of your mind, then it is in control of our thoughts and life. It is living our life for us. When this is happening, we feel unfulfilled, lost, off balance, confused, and without hope or purpose. In order to break free from past judgments, let us become present, forgive the past, and place the future fully in God's hands. This is how we take back control of our own mind. And by doing so, free ourselves from past patterns and get to experience and live life in the eternal now, where the peace and joy of God forever reside. End of paragraph 2. Okay. Okay, so these gives you a few tips. When am I chained to my past? Okay, because you belong like right here in the present moment, okay? This is your true home, the present moment. Your true home is not the past, and your true home is not the future, okay? You belong here in the present. That's in quotes. Why is it called present? It's the eternal gift from God to you. That's the present moment. But when you're stuck in the past, repeating past patterns, or if you're anxious about the future, thinking about the future, then you're not in the now. Okay? So let's say you're being judgmental, resentful, hateful, vengeful. You're simply reacting in the way that you've been programmed to react. Okay? If it's an energy or an emotion that's unloving in nature, it's a program response. It's not part of your quote unquote software. Okay? It's a virus that we've been taught is part of our software. Okay? So if you're simply repeating those unloving thoughts, you're dragging the past onto the now. And if you drag the past into the now, you will never experience what God is trying to offer you in the now. The Course in Miracles calls the now the holy instant. Okay? And if you're anxious or worried or fearful or doubtful, you're in the future. You're not in the now. Okay? So how do you break the chains that hold you captive to the past? Those judgmental chains? Through the act of forgiveness, compassion, mercy, and grace. That's how you break the chains from the past and come back again into the now. How do you break the chains that hold you captive in the future? Those of fear, worry, anxiousness, and doubt. You practice trusting God more. Okay? So now when the ego has you thinking judgmental thoughts, fear-based thoughts, okay, just say to yourself, okay, that means I'm thinking judgmental thoughts about myself or others. That means I'm chained to my past. That means I'm stuck to my past. That means I'm dragging the past into the now. That means I'm not experiencing the moment as God created it for me to experience, enjoy, and share. Okay, how do I release myself from the past? Through the act of forgiveness. I forgive myself and I forgive my brothers and sisters. Okay. Now think about maybe you're anxiousness or fearful or doubtful or worried. Okay, I'm anxious right now. What does that mean? That means I'm in the future. Okay, I don't belong in the future. That's not my true home. My true home is the present moment. How do I break the chains to the future? By deciding to trust God and putting this exact moment in God's hands. I'm going to put the future in God's hands. That's where it belongs, in God's hands. And now I return to the present moment, the holy instant. And in the holy instant, because I shifted from fear to trust in God, I now align with trust, and now I have peace. Okay? So I try to simplify it. I know sometimes when I speak in in, in long time, it seems like it's all over the place. But hopefully there's some rhythm to it. And so that's all we have to do is to practice letting go of the past patterns and the future fears. And by doing so, we come back to the now. And what's available in the now? The love of God. How? And all you have to ask yourself, how can I be love and light right now in this moment in an interaction? That's how you become truly present. And the cool part about this is that there's going to be 1,000 little stories of the ego, right? And then the ego is going to make it complicated. If there's 1,000 problems out there, then there's 1,000 solutions, according to the ego, right? So let's say you solve 10. Oh, wow, I solved 10. And then another 10 pop up. You solve those other 10, another 10 pop up. Okay? But that's the ego way of thinking. Here we just release it. Forgive, trust God, come back to the present moment, be love. Forgive, trust God, come back to the present moment, be love, be a loving light. And use any of love's expressions to be that expression of love in that moment. And so you listen to what aspect or expression of love the moment seems to be requesting, and then you be that for others. All right. Comments or questions?
How do we recognize when we've fallen into a pattern? Is it just the emotion maybe feeling? If you're feeling anxiety, it means, oh, it's a pattern.
Yes, exactly. Okay, you are only love. Okay, God is love, right? God is all. So all that is true in you is that love. Okay, Anything else is just a pattern that we've been taught in the past. And because we reinforce it with our time, focus, and energy, we build it up. And so it seems to become more and more real. But it was just always a story, okay? It was always just a story. But because you or your parents or your peers or society reinforce that story, it seemed to become more and more real. So yes, it's just a story that you've reinforced, consciously or not, and that's why you are experiencing.
Pancito, te traje pancito, está ahí arriba.
All right, pancito, that means bread. Thank you, Nori. That's the Spanish lesson for tonight. Good night. All right.
Hey, James.
Yes. Go ahead, Joy.
So whenever we feel angry, anxious, or regret, or any of those negative emotions, it's because of a pattern. It's triggered in the present moment, but it has roots in the past. So our ideal state is no anger, no regret, no anxiety. And we're just pure love. So the ideal state, or the state we should aim for, is that state where nothing will get us angry or anxious. Is that correct?
Okay. First, let's shift the word ideal. Okay.
Okay.
The ideal state. It's not the ideal state. It's your true state, your true nature. Your true nature is peace. Your true nature is joy. Your true nature is compassion, kindness, generosity, mercy, grace. That's your true state. That's where you truly belong. Okay? Those energies and emotions are a representation that you are in the present moment. Everything else is just a representation that you're either stuck to the past or to the future. Okay, but you don't belong in the past and you don't belong in the future. These are not your homes. This is. Okay? And so, yes, again, how do you break those chains that hold you captive to the past, to judgment, to anger, resentment, hate? Forgiveness. So practice forgiveness anytime you're stuck to the past. Practice putting the future in God's hands anytime fear and anxiousness, worry, and doubt keep you attached to the future, and come back to the now. Practice coming back to the now. As many times during the day as you can. If you're having an unpeaceful, unloving thought, stop it. Stop placing your time, focus, and energy on that thought. Forgive yourself for that, for thinking that thought. Forgive others, and then be loved. Yes. Does that answer your question, Joy?
Yes. So it's just a matter of also, yeah. There's a difference when I use the word ideal, and then you use the word true state. That feels that yeah. I'm not there yet. Because it's like I'm aiming for something that I feel there's a gap between where I am and where I want to be. Because I want to attain that ideal state, but it's not like I should regard it as the true state. So it's more of like a process of subtracting rather than pining or aiming for something.
Okay. Anytime you have an unloving thought, an unpeaceful thought, a non-compassionate thought, okay, that shows you that you're out of alignment with the present moment. But why are you out of alignment with the now? is because you're spending your time, your focus, and your energy on the fairy tale. Okay, so if you want to close that gap between who you think you are right now and who you truly are, you have to stop fueling those thoughts that are not you. Okay, stop fueling judgment. Stop fueling anger with your time, focus, and energy. Stop fueling resentment, shame, guilt. Stop fueling those thoughts. Forgive yourself. Forgive all others. And return to the now, return to peace. And then support peace, support forgiveness with your time, with your focus, and your energy. And so if you wanted to say it that way, you can make it a mathematical formula. Okay? Very simple. Let's say we're up 16 hours a day, let's say. And so we can dedicate those 16 hours either to the ego's past programs, to the judgment-centered, fear-based thoughts and emotions and energies, or to our loving nature. The more we support our loving nature and see only the truth in others as true, the more we realize that, yeah, this is where I belong, in the now. But remember, we're all one, right? So you have to see that same love and peace and offer that same love and peace and compassion to your brothers and sisters that you want for yourself. Okay? Let go of your judgments. What have they ever done for you? You know, stop judging yourself as less than. Stop judging your brothers and sisters as less than. Start trying to see yourself only as God sees you, through his mercy and through his grace. And so say to yourself, okay, today, when you do your little 5-minute meditation in the morning, today I will only see myself with mercy and grace. And because we're all one, today I will only offer mercy and grace to all those that God sends my way. And then remind yourself of that before every interaction. Before every interaction, I am only going to, you want to call your mother-in-law or your father-in-law or whatever, or maybe somebody who's been unkind in the past. Okay, I'm going to call the person X. I'm only, no matter what he or she thinks, says, or does, I am only going to offer them compassion, mercy, and grace so that I can have peace, because I am worthy of peace. And so my brother and sister, what my brother and sister is really doing for me in this conversation is helping me realize that I can choose peace instead of this, that in any moment I can choose peace, I can choose forgiveness and compassion, and thus experience peace. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, before I go to Lori, Samir, did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'll say not Samir, if I answer Samir's
Oh,
question.
okay.
Yes, you did. But I was just looking for whether we can bring what you're saying into an automatic practice or a circuit breaker, like there are genuine things to be anxious. We could be anxious about our health, we could be anxious about our finances, so I'm just wondering, there are things that are being reminded, like about, 3 months ago, I was very much concerned about my memory issues. Now, a lot of them have gone, but at that time it was very concerning that I couldn't remember things, and now of course I can say that, all right, there was a higher power that intervened, and now I'm very concerned about my financial situation with, it's a tough market to make money, and I'm already behind and all that stuff. So I was just wondering whether I can bring something into practice, and you're saying bring mercy into practice when we're feeling anxious.
Okay. This is the one tool that you should practice, okay? Practice trusting God more. Anytime you're worried or anxious or fearful or doubtful, that's a perfect opportunity to say to yourself, okay, let me trust God more right now. Because all you do is have to look at your past. All those times you worried and were anxious and fearful and doubtful, in the end, they turned out okay, right? In the end, your health situation turned out okay, right?
Yes.
It's because God was in control, not you.
Yes.
It's when your ego's in control, that's when you have the fear about your health and your finance and all that stuff. Okay? You're fearful because the ego is in control of your thoughts. Stop supporting the ego's thoughts with your time, focus, and energy. Take your time, focus, and energy away from them. When they come to mind, say, no, that's a lie. God has my back. I am God's child in creation. He has my back. All will be okay. All will be all right. And yes, you do the best you can every single day, right? But the foundation of that is your trust in God. Okay? It's a rock. The rock is representative of your trust in God. The sand is a representative of your trust in the ego's mindset, which is fear and anxiousness and worry and doubt. Okay, so you can build your house on rock, or you can build your house on sand. That's called free will. Okay? So whenever that anxiousness comes, say, okay, this moment is perfect for me to practice trusting God more. Okay? So you do that over and over and over again. Answer the ego's demands for anxiousness, worry, fear, and doubt. Answer them by saying, I'm going to use this moment to trust God more. And you will know when you're trusting God. How will you know? When you have peace. When you have peace, that shows you that you are trusting God. When you lack peace, that shows that you're trusting in the ego's mindset. Okay? It's very, very simple. Don't complicate it. Do you have peace? Yes? That means you're trusting in God's plan, the plan that you have co-created with God. Do you lack peace? If the answer is yes, that's because you're trusting in the ego's programs, mindset, and tools. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Okay.
All right. Does that answer your question, Samir?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, Lori.
Yeah. So what if you're practicing, being in the moment and you're practicing forgiveness, but the past throws itself into the moment?
Okay, wait, the past.
The
Yeah,
past,
okay, look. The ego is not going to go quietly into the dark night. Okay. The ego is not going to say, "Oh, you got me, I surrender." Okay. So the ego is going to keep on trying because it's about its survival, not yours. It cares,
right,
it cares about its survival.
right.
Okay. So yes, it's going to keep demanding that you worry or that you be anxious or that you be judgmental or angry or whatever. It's always going to do that. That's what the ego does. Okay. But, okay, that happens. Okay. Now look, recognize, okay, this thought, being unloving in nature, is not a true aspect and expression of who I am or who God desires me to be. Okay. I will now stop feeling that thought with my time, focus, and energy. I now let it go. I say that's a lie. That's not real or true. Only the love of God is true. Okay. So stop when that thought comes in. Stop it.
That's not so easy.
Exactly. The ego's going to tell you that it's not so easy. But you know what's not so easy? Is carrying that thought and making it a bigger and bigger part of your day and life.
True.
That's what's not easy. So what you do is you want to continue to practice. Okay? Just practice. Anytime that those thoughts come in, practice stopping that thought and say, I will dedicate no more of my time, focus, or energy to you. I'm done. I'm not going to use this moment to trust God more.
So can I tell you? Can I tell you what happened?
Sure.
Okay, so my neighbor, it's my neighbors, they're all my saviors, I guess.
Yes.
So my neighbor who I've known for 30 years. And, you know, we talk, right? But I went to her and I said, you know, there's a little cat in the alley with kittens. Do you know who it belongs to? Because it's jumping over your fence. So she said, oh, I don't know. So she went outside. Her friend, who's a neighbor across the way, across the alley from me, she dropped dead in the house, and a cat was there, right? So the cat's just wandering around in the neighborhood. So she goes out and she says, she was real nasty to me, right? I didn't get nasty back with her. You'd have been proud of me. I didn't. I just said, all I asked you was who the cat belonged to. I didn't ask you to go do anything or whatever. So she said the cat belongs to her neighbor, the one that died. So now that the daughter's taken over the house, right? So I said, okay. She was real rude to me. And I said, but that's okay. I didn't say anything to her. So I went and I bought some food because the cat needs to get fixed and whatever. But the mother died and the daughter doesn't live in the neighborhood. So all they do is leave some food for the cat, but they don't. The cat is living in the neighborhood, right? So it's basically a feral cat. So I went and I bought some food. I bought some soft food and some hard food, and I took it over there. So my neighbor came to the door and she just rolled her eyes. I mean, I don't understand why she was so upset. I was buying food. She doesn't care about the cat. I just don't understand. So the owner's daughter was there. So she said to me, oh, who told you you could feed my cat? I said, well, the cat is always out. I said, I just brought some food to help out. And she told me, I don't need your food. I don't. She was so rude to me. I was so hurt. I was so hurt. I didn't say anything. The old Laurie would have just stood there and just told her exactly what I felt. I didn't say anything. I just said, well, I just wanted to help out. She said, I don't need your help. See, I've got food for the cat. I don't need your food. And then I had a bowl. I got a bowl and I put some soft food in. She goes, ew, what is that you giving the cat? So I just said, okay. So I left. I could not sleep all Sunday night. I cried the whole day. I was so hurt that somebody could be just so cruel. You know what I'm saying? So I made arrangements I was trying to make arrangements to get the cat fixed and all of that. And, you know, so I said, you know what? I took the food back. I took the food back and I wished all kinds of hell on both of them. I really did. I was so hurt. And then I just kept, you know, doing the course and asking God to forgive me and help me to forgive them and blah blah blah. And I finally said, "Oh, it's okay." Like Sunday when I got up, you know, I didn't sleep all night Sunday. I thought about it. I got up. I typed her a letter that I was going to send her about how. Yeah, I typed her this whole letter. So I let somebody in the course came to the house. They came over. They live close to me, and I showed them. I said, I'm going to give her this letter. The house she's not taking care of the cat. The cat's a community cat. Blah blah blah. And he said, no, don't send the letter. I said, oh man, I really wanted to get it off my chest, so I didn't send the letter, and I really just meditated on it. I asked for forgiveness. I asked God to help me, and I just said, you know what? By the end of Sunday, I felt so much better. I mean, I just, right now, I feel so much better. So I still put food out for the cat, but by my house. And I think somebody took the kittens, but I said, that's okay, because I can still work and get her fixed and whatever. And I just left it in God's hands. So I was feeling so much better. So then I'm driving today. I go for a swim in the morning and I'm driving. And you know the way the birds go in the road? And usually they fly out the way when you drive up. And I wasn't driving fast. I was on 441, and the flipping pigeon was on the floor. And I'm driving, and the thing hits my bumper, and and flies over to the side of the road. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, what are the chances of that? So then I worried about the bird because I couldn't get back over there. There was so much traffic. Then I worried about the bird, and I said, God, you know what? I called the Pelican Bay to see Pelican Harbor to see if I could go back and get it, and they could get it. And I'm like, wow. So that was my story of my weekend. But I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better. I'm practicing, and I noticed that every time these things happen, even though I spiral, I don't go spiral out of control, and then I'm able to forgive and move past it faster. So that's my story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
But it's
so
every day. It's every day something. It's like every day something. So
okay.
it makes you feel like you're not doing anything because every day that same thing just keeps it keeps coming up, and it's like, well, have I not learned? I thought I was learning. I mean, I handle it so much better, you know.
Well, if you handle it so much better, then you are growing.
Yeah, but why has it got to keep happening? You know, I mean, if I've learned that, why does it keep? Obviously, I haven't learned, right?
Well, you are learning, but you see, the time you spend in pain,
Yeah.
the more times you get to practice choosing choosing forgiveness over judgment, and thus pain, peace over pain, the less the less you have, the less pain you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so little by
Yeah.
little, you're going to decrease the amount of pain you have in relation to your reactions to the experience.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Right. I see that.
But yeah, but who is helping you reduce your pain?
The neighbors.
Exactly. Bingo.
But what about the bird? What are the chances that I'm going to hit this bird? The bird didn't fly out the way and hits the bumper of my car and flies on. What was the chances of that? I mean, what was that for?
Well, maybe the bird just wanted to go to heaven.
Oh God! Yeah, with my car, right?
Yeah.
God.
You gave him the
Yeah.
opportunity. You gave him the opportunity to go to heaven. He's very happy now.
Well, I
Very
hope he
happy.
didn't suffer. I hope he didn't suffer. That's all.
He didn't suffer.
Well, if he didn't die, if he was injured, he'd suffer, right? Unless he died. I don't know if he even died. I wasn't even going that fast, but he bounced off the hood and just flipped over onto the side of the road. But I couldn't go back because it was traffic. Traffic was terrible. So I don't even know what happened. I might go tomorrow to see if he got up.
well, what happens really is that even though if we look back and the bird seems to be suffering, it's only a body response because the soul is already taken out of the spirit. I mean, the soul is already taken out of the bird.
Even if it's alive.
No, yes, even if it's alive, even if it's still alive, the soul leaves the body, so it doesn't feel the pain.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. So the soul leaves the body, and if the bird gets better, then the soul goes back into the body. But if the soul doesn't get better, then the cord is cut, and he goes to heaven.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you don't have to worry about him suffering.
Okay. Now I can sleep tonight.
Yeah, and that's also, I can say that if anybody has had people who have been murdered or stuff like that, some really horrible stuff, those people really in the end don't suffer. They're taken out of their body, so they don't experience all that pain. And then if they wake up in the hospital, then they come back into the body. But if they don't, they go to heaven. And so people don't experience the pain. Like let's say for example, the people who unfortunately passed away in Texas, right? The children who
Right.
drowned. Right? Just for maybe for a moment they felt some fear, but then they were taken out of their bodies, so they wouldn't experience that trauma. Okay. If
But
they,
what happens when people are tortured though? They be screaming and everything. They feel the pain, don't they?
some do, and some pop out of the body. If you ever read experiences of people who have had a serious trauma, all of a sudden they pop out of the body, or even people who have been sometimes molested.
I mean,
They,
they disassociate.
yeah, exactly. They disassociate and they pop. They're taken out. Okay, and so they don't feel that pain of whatever it is that they do to them. So be at peace with the bird.
Okay, all right.
Little prayer for the bird.
Well, I hope my neighbor stories are going to be over soon.
Yes, but you see, the amount of pain you're experiencing is lessening, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And it's lessening because people like your neighbor are helping you practice realizing that you don't want to carry pain anymore,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so when we realize that our neighbors and those who quote unquote make us feel that pain are actually helping us reduce the amount of pain by remembering that we have the choice to just choose peace instead of this or forgive, then who are our neighbors? Again, like you said, our neighbors are our saviors.
Right.
Okay. So when you recognize what's really going on, that your neighbors are just helping you remember that in any moment or situation or interaction, you can choose peace or you can forgive and thus have peace, then the proper response to your neighbors becomes one of gratitude.
But it's okay to have those feelings and
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
able to reflect on them while
Yeah.
you're in there. I mean, those feelings of wishing the person not well or whatever in that moment. It's okay to be okay with those feelings.
Yes. Like we always
Yeah.
say, it's okay to feel your feelings. Okay.
Yeah.
But, but, you give yourself time to feel those feelings. Okay.
Yeah.
But you give those feelings a time limit
Right.
and say, I'm going to feel this anger. Okay. I'm going to I'm feeling angry right now at this person. Okay. I'm going to give myself half an hour to be really angry with them. And then you say, at that half an hour, I'm going to make a conscious decision to forgive. Why? Why do I forgive? Because I am worthy of peace. I
Right.
forgive because I am worthy of peace.
Right.
I forgive because God created me to be a light in the world and therefore a light in this situation. And therefore, the way that I shine my light in the situation is through the act of forgiveness.
Yeah.
And when I forgive, then I feel fulfilled when I forgive and at peace. Why do I feel at peace and fulfilled? Because I'm doing exactly what God created me to do, to be a light
Right.
in each situation and an interaction. And so you see, let us thank everybody who triggers us this week. Let us thank them.
Yeah, because we could be we're mad with them and they might not be mad. They're not even thinking about us.
That's
I was thinking all night about the both of those women and wishing the worst on them and replaying it. And they weren't even thinking about me. They probably slept real good while I was up all night crying. They weren't crying. I was crying because it hurt me, but it didn't bother them.
Amen. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a guy that old comic that I quote a lot is Buddy Hackett, and he says, "Don't carry a grudge, because when you do, the other guy's out dancing."
Yeah. It's true. It's true. It's true.
And so give all your pain and anger and resentment over to God.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes and visualize that anger
Yeah.
lifting off your shoulders and going into God's loving light and dissolving in His loving light. Because you're not meant to carry that cross. That cross already was overcome.
Right. And the Holy Spirit will always give you the answer because I'd go on to listen to a course YouTube video and it was right on exactly what I needed. So I got, I was able to work through it. So yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
And remember, whatever anybody says to us, we define what people are saying to us. We put a value to what people are saying to us. And what does the Course in Miracles say? There's only love or a call for love. Okay? So if somebody is being judgmental or angry or mean or whatever, that they're just calling out for love.
Yeah, but what about our call for love? Don't we want love too?
Yes, you're calling out for love by asking for the experience for that experience. You ask for the experience so you can remember that you can choose peace instead of that anger. And so your call for love is being answered by how the person expressed himself.
Oh wow.
Yes, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
This is giving you an experience, which is offering you an opportunity to practice forgiveness over judgment, thus peace over pain, thus you spend less and less time in that pain. And so the experience itself was a gift from God to you, because God doesn't want you carrying that pain. God
Yeah.
doesn't want you in pain. God wants you at peace so you can be a light in the world.
Yeah. And you know, that my sons were my biggest thorn in my flesh, and it doesn't even bother me anymore. I don't even, I mean, if they call, or they don't, I don't even agonize over it. It's like it's gone. It's amazing. So everything else will just go the same way. It won't affect me.
Yes. And that's because you're seeing them more through God's eyes instead of the evil
Right.
eyes.
James,
Right.
James, could you please elaborate what you mean by light of the world and how it applies in our lives?
Okay, God is love, right?
Yes.
And the physical or energetic expression of that love is what? It's light, right?
Yes.
Right.
If you ever study near-death experiences, they always go to the light, right?
Yes.
Because God is light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if God is light, we have to be who God is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we are light. We are that loving light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so we're the loving light. How does that loving light express itself? Through kindness, compassion, hope, healing, mercy, grace. All those loving expressions are the loving light in us. And so that's our job in each moment and interaction, is to be that loving light. So we're God's loving physical manifestation of his loving light on earth. Okay, so God has us here as light bearers. Okay, in each moment in an interaction, you're here to be a light. You're here to be the light of the world in every interaction and every moment. That's your job. When you're doing your true job, then you feel fulfilled because you're doing what God created you to do, to be a light. And so, yes, we can have our worldly jobs. We can be a nurse, firefighter, police officer, financial officer, well, whatever. But our true job is to be a light in the world in each moment and interaction. We're there to bring the light into our workplace by being compassionate, kind, generous, forgiving. That's what we're there to do. That's what God placed us there for, to be a light.
The workbook lessons 61, 62, 63, and 64. They call I am the light of the world. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. That's 60, 61, 62, 63, and 64. Let me not forget my function.
Amen. Yes. And oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So repeat that over and over to yourself. I'm here to be the light of the world. I can do so through the act of forgiveness. Forgiveness will bring me peace, and peace will shine my light into the world. And so, yes, thank you, Lori, for that. Samir, did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
James, can I ask?
Yes,
Okay.
Bundy.
Yes, it is. So I am in an unpeaceful situation. I just talked to a friend for like 2 hours to help me find some more peace about it. But it is a disruptive situation. It's a work situation. So could I just ask you what you would do if, let's say you and Mike work together? Sorry, Mike, to use you in this position, but I think it'll be easier if I do it this way.
Okay.
If you and Mike work together, we're colleagues and friends, good friends for years, but Mike said to you, hey, do this work with me, do this committee work with me, it'll be great, we'll do this or whatever, and you had already had a past experience. So I want to be clear, I already knew this was a possibility and I should have never said yes, but I have bad boundaries. And you had already had an experience where that person dumped all the work on you and took credit and money because it's a paid extra thing for it. And then you 5 years later were like, okay, well, let me try it again. But you had already talked to them and said, we're going to split everything, blah, blah, blah. And then the person started doing the same things, dumping all the shit on you. Sorry, dumping all the garbage on you. My apologies, James. I know you hate those words. And again, you're really good friends, really good outside of work and inside of work. And last time what I did was I left. Like after the year was over, I was like, I'm stepping down. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be in this position. And this time I almost did it the same thing. I texted her and said, one of us is going to go. because I'm not repeating what happened before. And she essentially said, then you go and don't, I'm not going to let your manipulation and anxiety control me. But in the meantime, I literally have been doing everything, and I have to like pull teeth to get her to do anything. So I have an issue because not only do we work together, not only are we friends, we actually both won endowed chairs together. We're going to be in many situations where we're taking pictures and group pictures, and there's only 8 of us. You know what I mean? I don't want tension. I actually just only want peace. And so if Mike did that to you, my thinking is, and I'm not going to respond or do anything till tomorrow because the last text she sent me was very rude, very mean, and I don't even want to respond to that. I feel like my friend helped me. She said that's not who she is. She's just, just that's not who she is. What she just said to you, don't think of that as who she is because you know her better than that. So my thinking is that I'm just going to text her tomorrow because my friend said wait overnight and just say, look, we have a long history, a good friendship. We both want, these awards together. We're going to be spending a lot of time together. Do whatever you can do, and I'm sure everything will be fine. That's what I was planning to say. And just leave it at that. And, I put myself into the position. I have to take responsibility, and then I'll step down after the year is over. That was my plan. But let's say Mike did that to you. What would you, no, I don't see her face to face. She's gone for now. I'm not going to see her for a few weeks. And so what would you do in that position? And do you feel that the way that I want to handle it is a good way to handle it?
Okay. So you have issues with boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens? The soul, when you have issues in any part of your life, your soul will call out to the universe, to God, for help and healing. Okay. So those people who are going to test those boundaries will come into your experience. Why? So that you can develop loving boundaries, self-loving boundaries. Okay, so this is the service that friend of yours is offering to you. She's offering to you an opportunity,
yes,
to develop self-loving boundaries.
Okay.
Okay, so now let us know what she's really truly offering you. Because she's offering you that, your proper response to her inside your heart and mind should be one of gratitude. Because you know what she's really trying to offer you, the opportunity to practice remembering that I can set boundaries around my work that are loving and that will bring me peace. And that's what she's doing. And that's what you're doing. You're saying to yourself, do what brings you peace and you will have peace. Okay, so all you have to do is I'm going to do what brings me peace so that I can have peace. And if that means not working with her because you understand how she works from your past and she's trying to do it again and she hasn't evolved in that sense, then you do what brings you peace, which is leave whatever it is that you're working with her, if that's possible, and not work with her in that kind of setting or a situation again, if possible. I don't know how that works.
No, it's possible. She talked me into doing it. She
Okay.
roped me into it, telling me
Okay.
how to be.
So you understand how she works. So now you set self-loving boundaries, and you try to, if possible, leave the project. If whatever brings you peace. If it brings you peace to leave the project, whatever your text was, it sounded good. It
I
sounded
didn't
like
send it. I was thinking about sending it tomorrow. The
right,
last
right.
sent me was very unkind, and I was just thinking about sending what I told you, which is to ignore the way she spoke to me, and just to say, we have a lot to be grateful for. We've won these awards. Do what you can, and I'm sure everything will be fine. That was my plan.
Yeah, and that sounds perfect. And remember, what unkindness is, all it is a call for love. Right?
Yeah.
So you forgive her behavior.
Yes.
You see only the truth in her as true.
Yes.
You keep that friendship, right?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
simply don't work together because you know how she works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you send her that email that you just said. It sounded pretty loving,
Okay.
and so that's what you do. So
Okay.
she's helped you develop those self-loving boundaries,
Yeah.
and you invited her into your life to help you do that. To say, you know what, I can put boundaries around my workplace and the work that I do. because
Yeah.
and you're doing this because you're starting to realize that you're worthy of peace.
Yes.
And so she in essence is helping you practice recalling that you are worthy of peace.
Okay.
That it's perfectly okay to set self-loving boundaries. Okay? So you
Yeah.
see how what the ego would condemn, the Holy Spirit will use to heal.
Yes. And I do feel like it was brought around to me again to try to do it differently. But I got stuck in the same way, but I can still end it peacefully. Because I should have said no. That would have been the appropriate response when she said, let's be co-chairs. I should have said, no, this is not good for me. I cannot do this right now. Thank you anyway. But I did not. So the third time I'll do it right.
Yeah.
If it happens again a few years from now, I'll do it right. But this time I did not set good boundaries. So I have to, there's consequences to that, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm thinking I committed to do this. And if she won't do her part, I'm going to have to do what I did last time, is just do what she won't do and let it go, because I committed to do it. And you know, it's a big deal, and the campus president is calling us in for a big meeting about it, and it doesn't really look good for me to step away. I did say to her, one of us is going to step down. I was hoping it would be her, but you know, that's not going to happen. I don't think it looks good for me when I'm about to get this big award to step down, so I'm not going to do it. I think I'm just going to do whatever it takes, but I have to practice not resenting any extra work that I have to take care of.
Yeah, and use it as a life lesson, you know. And now you have this life lesson in your tool belt. And now next time the kind of situation happens with her and she asks again, say no. Lovingly, you say no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I will. Thank you. That was very helpful. I think I knew the answer. I wish I had had some conversation with the Holy Spirit before I made these decisions and before I started the texting conversation with her, because I was extremely upset at that point. And you know, it would have been better to wait.
Yes, and you learn something good there is before any situation, ask the Holy Spirit, well, what should I think, say, and do? And then think, say, and do that. So before any project, say, Holy Spirit, is this project what I should be doing? What's the best thing for me to be doing right now? And then just wait for the answer. And if you feel at peace doing the project, then you do it. And if you don't feel at peace, then you don't do it.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
you do some other project, you know, so you
Yeah.
don't look bad in regards to the head of the.
Thank you, James. Sorry, you guys have to listen to my work things, but really, I wanted to know what you would say to Mike the next time you saw him, if that's between you two, something
Yeah,
like.
I mean, if like you and her are friends.
Yeah, good
Keep
friend.
friends,
I
yeah.
took her to the hospital when she was having her baby. Good friends.
Okay, you know, you could be good friends with somebody, but not be able to work with them. That's perfectly fine.
I know, but I'm saying I'm going to have to see her. She's very angry. She wrote me some really mean things that I did not respond to. When I see her face to face, I'm saying if you saw Mike again after this situation had occurred, I'm going to send her the nice text, but I'm going to see her face to face at a meeting. And you know, I have to talk to her. So what would you say to Mike after all of that had occurred? Would you say anything? Pretend like it didn't happen? I'm just trying to get some guidance, because it's going to happen in a couple of weeks. She'll be back.
Yeah, well, let that email that you're going to send, the very loving email that you're going to send, soften the path for next time that you see her.
Okay.
You know, so you're going to send her a very kind, loving email back, not unkind like she did, a very kind, loving email.
Yeah.
And then that's going to set the path for your future meeting with her. And you'll see, and between the now and then, whenever you can, just pray for her and pray that she has peace in regards to the situation. And, you know, pray only good things about her and think only good things about her.
Am I allowed to pray that she understand my perspective?
Yes, sure. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah, you can pray for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry
Yes.
to use you like that, Mike. I thought I was going to get I thought I was gonna get a role playing thing going here, but it did not happen. So
Okay.
But yes, anytime she comes to mind, just bless her. Because the Holy Spirit is inviting you to remember that you don't have to carry people in your mind with pain. Like when the Lori's neighbor didn't help her go to sleep, it's simply because she was carrying her neighbors with pain inside her mind and heart. Now, when she was able to forgive, then she was able to go to sleep, you know. And so, yes, if you carry people in your mind or heart with anger, judgment, resentment, then you're just poisoning yourself, you know.
I know. Thank you, Mary, and James and Mike and everybody for teaching me that, because as soon as I feel bad, I try to divest myself. That's how I got to, I'm going to send her this nice text. I got there from, I'm not going to be friends with her in my mind. Like, I'm done with this because, I don't like the way she talks to me, and how is she doing this to me again? I went from that to, I'm going to send her this nice text and see what happens.
Let me mention something. We all have some good aspects to our personality, to our ego stories, and some not so good aspects. You got to look at both. You understand that she's been a good friend, but one aspect that is not so good about her ego story is that she doesn't do this. So you deal with it, say whatever boundaries are needed. You don't get angry at the person because they're not perfect. Their ego stories, nobody's is. We all have some things that we need to work on. So you just, you deal with that as best you can, as loving as you can. And don't let that say, well, she used to be my good friend, but now I hate her. No, she's still your good friend. She just has this part of her ego story is not so great.
That's very helpful, Mike. Thank you. You're right. That's correct.
Yeah.
It is correct. She's a very good person, a very kind person, a very thoughtful person, just not good to do committee work with.
Right. You just be aware of that. So try to avoid, getting into a bad situation with committee work,
No, I never have to say yes again. It's always my choice. I was just a dumb. Sorry, James. I was, I knew my past was right there. I knew it could happen. I just have bad boundary.
Mm-hmm.
I get suckered
Yeah.
into. So yeah. I'm going to learn this time. I'm sure the opportunity is going to come around again, just to see if I really did learn. Lori, that's for you, because you keep asking if they come around again. They come around again until you do it the right way, is my experience, so it's going to come around again.
I agree. It's not easy though, right?
No, I'll let you know how it goes next time, assuming we're all together in a few years.
But Maya Angelou says when someone shows you they are, believe them. So if you know that she's gonna dump on you, then just don't, keep it as a friend. It's hard when you do business with friends, business or whatever with friends, because then they think, they kind of take advantage,
Well, that's the whole thing. I
Yeah.
let take it, I did before several times.
So you knew what you were getting into, basically.
That's correct. So why would I think that she wouldn't try it again?
Exactly. When a person shows you they are once, believe them. You can believe them.
Well, I'm going to learn that lesson now she's shown me twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
But whenever you think of her, just remember, you bless another and you heal yourself.
I love her. I will only send her love. I'm going to drain myself of any grievance I have over this, because she's a good person. She has her own struggles. And we don't have to, these committee things, unless you're appointed by the president. This was a choice I made. So I cannot, you know what I mean? She asked me. I didn't want to, but I accepted anyway. It's on me that I did that, knowing the history. So I have to accept that. That's why I'm saying I'm going to do, just stay in it, take care of the business, do whatever I have to do, whatever extra work I have to do. And when the year is up, step down, because I have to accept my own responsibility in it.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Jen, do you want to say something?
Oh, I just love the part of the message about when we keep repeating past patterns, to look at them and to think about why are we repeating them? What are they there to teach us? And we do keep repeating these negative patterns, and they are really good teachers. So I've been embracing the message that you always are saying, well, be grateful for the message and the messenger, whatever the experience is. So when a negative experience happens, I'm trying to look at it and look at it. How is this because of self-worth, or is this because I'm not valuing myself or whatever, or trying to look at it from a perspective of what is it from the past, or what is it that's creating this past experience to keep happening. So it's been a good experience of learning. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And
Yes.
I'm finding through all these lessons that it's all about my lack of self-worth, my abandonment issues, it's all my stuff, my wanting to please, wanting to fit in. And it's funny because then I've realized that I've always wanted to be part of the group and fit in because I never have. And now I don't even want that. I'm like, wow, I don't even want that now. So I'm learning a lot through this.
Yes, because you're remembering that what you truly want is peace.
Right.
Yes, and that you are worthy of peace. And yes.
Message you ever give, James, that we are worthy of peace and that we are worthy of God's companionship. Those are the two best things you ever talk about.
Okay.
They're like, that's like, to me, if you can internalize that, you really can have peace. When you say you're worthy, that's like the hardest thing to accept. And it's a beautiful message, and you give it a lot, and it's a good thing. It's a really good thing to have and to hear.
Yes, yes, it is a good thing to remember that we are all worthy of peace. Because the Father of peace, he's our Father. So we're the children of peace. So we're worthy of our Father's inheritance, which is peace. And so all we have to do to enjoy our inheritance is to accept it as ours. And so thank you, God, for that peace.
Mm-hmm.
And well, any final comments or questions before we close? All right. Well, thank you, Lori. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Mike, Joey, Jenna,
Thank you.
here, Wendy, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you,
you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you guys.
Right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you,
Bye.
James.
Bye. Bye.